Hello, parents and school educators. Welcome to my vlog, Peeking Through Books with Auntie Marcella, Dr. Watts. Although usually on this vlog we look at children's writing or we look at books and look for themes in books and how they can assist children. This time, because of COVID-19, we are going to look at the impact of different routines on students. And because I have launched Operation No Parent Left Behind, I have decided to use this platform and also my podcast to help parents deal with the situations that they're facing with, particularly parents who are essential workers, whether they are healthcare workers or they work in the post office or they work in their first responders, whoever they are. These parents have actually a tougher time than the rest of us because we are home. And so I have decided to bring in Brevard County Public Schools school psychologist to assist us in helping parents understand how to navigate having to deal with kids and their emotional status. So as we go through this whole new phenomena of dealing with COVID-19, there are a few things that are expected of us. And one of them is social distancing. We've heard quite a bit about social distancing. And what it really is that space that we provide between ourselves and other people to make sure that we're not too close and to avoid contact that can cause spreading of COVID-19. The whole idea is for that overarching goal of stopping the spread. But what we fail to realize is that this social distancing is having some emotional impact on children. And today, I have brought with us school psychologist in Brevard Public Schools, Miss Lauren Taurasi, who is going to speak to us about how we can help parents cope with the whole idea of how do we help parents help their children deal with social distancing or the impact of social distancing. Hi, Lauren.
Yes, hello. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you so much for accepting my invitation. Tell our listeners who you are, a little more about you.
Yes, so as she said, my name's Lauren Taurasi. I'm a school psychologist with Brevard Public Schools. I work with kids, pre-K all the way up to 12th grade, and any, social emotional needs they may have, mental health needs, behavioral needs, anything like that. So I'm really excited to talk about this today, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. So hopefully I'll provide a lot of good information and a lot of good resources that'll help you all out.
Awesome. So, Lauren, you heard the scenario that would be a parent sent in with a child that just did not understand the idea that she couldn't get the normal hug and kiss when her mom comes home. And mom had to deal with that. I want you to speak to that aspect with parents. Parents who are going through the idea of they have to go to work still because they're in the essential services and they must come home to their kids. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they want to protect their children. But the younger ones don't seem to get it. It's like, why all of a sudden mom doesn't want to hug me when she comes home? How do you help parents cope with that phenomena or deal with it?
Yeah. So I think you kind of hit the nail on the head as a starting point with they just don't quite get it yet. They may be quite oblivious to the facts of the situation and how serious the situation is, but they are masters of picking up on vibes and those changes in routines and everything. So that simple piece of uncertainty and unpredictability and all those changes is really going to cause a source of anxiety for a lot of kids. And a lot of times anxiety or things like that, those changes that the kids are feeling can manifest specifically in younger kids as things like tantruming or crying or things like, feeling anxious or outbursts, things like that. So we really need to kind of take a step back and be like, okay, we need to provide these kids with information that is developmentally appropriate, of course, because they aren't quite understanding what's going on. Their little worlds have just been turned upside down, and what they thought was normal is no longer normal.
Beautiful.
So I think a good starting point is probably to sit down with kids and have a conversation. Of course, this is going to have to be when they're calm and it's not in the middle of one of those outbursts or those tantrums. You really want to sit down with the kid and talk to them. And, I use that term developmentally appropriate. You definitely want to do it in a kid-friendly way. Well, what does that mean? What does that look like? Well, we really just want to make sure that we don't share too much information at once. And we have to be calm as well when we're providing this information. Okay. Because like I said, the kids really pick up on our anxieties and those slight differences in the world. Mm-hmm. So once we're calm and, we know what information we want to share, really important to want to take cues from the child and let them lead the conversation. And that's really a good way to kind of gauge what their main concerns are, what questions they have. So just kind of open it up. And, an example would be, well, I can see you're having a really hard time with all of these changes. What questions do you have for mommy, or what questions do you have for daddy? Let me really just take that opportunity to reassure them. And you really want to correct any misinformation that they have and keep those lines of communication open with them. I think a good way to kind of explain it, just explain that COVID-19 is a virus and it's so small that it's invisible and that it can make people sick. But there are ways to protect ourselves and are ways to protect others. And really go into what those ways are. And really, we have to focus on what is in our control in these moments, because there's a lot out there that's really not within our control. And as adults, we understand that, but kids may have a little bit more difficult understanding what is and is not in their control. Wow. So, so definitely keep that in mind too, and focus on what you can be doing. Washing your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. Saying hello in new ways, such as waving from afar, sneezing into the bends of our arms or into our shirts, staying indoors, keeping a safe distance from other people, things like that.
What I really like, Lauren, is Ms. Taurasi, is when you said that the explanation, it is a really tiny virus or something that can make us sick, but we can't see it. And I really like that, because I never thought of that before. And I really think that it's a good way that parents can explain that to the kids. If they can explain to their kids, then guess what? It may be on mommy when I come from work. And that's why I do not want to touch you. And I don't want you to get sick. And so I really like that. And so I hope that...
Exactly. And, if you're having trouble finding the words or explaining it in a way that you think is developmentally appropriate, there are tons of videos. If you have access to YouTube or just a quick internet search, there are a ton of really great videos out there. There's actually one that I found specifically for preschoolers or kindergarten age students. It's called Time to Come In Bear, a story about social distancing. And it really, explains the situation of what we're going on, but it kind of helps them relate to it in a way that's a character and a bear, and it's really developmentally appropriate. There's other ones, Wash Your Hands with Baby Shark, that song Baby Shark, that's very catchy. And there's a tune to that. You can wash your hands with Baby Shark. And there's one called Germs, Sid the Science Kid, and that exactly what you were talking about. It really helps explain the kids that germs may be on their parents when they come home from work, and that's why they have to keep a distance away from the kids until they take a shower.
Nice.
So there's a lot of resources that can help if parents are feeling a little bit uncomfortable or not knowing the right words to say.
Beautiful. And did you say it was time to what? What was that one? The first one you mentioned?
Yeah, it says Time to Come In Bear, A story about social distancing.
Okay, time to come in, Bear. A story about social distancing is very good. Because in addition to my podcast, I also have a parent group where I share things with parents on mostly about reading and writing. But because of this time, I share anything that I can find to help parents just cope with the whole, how do I deal with an anxious kid? How do I get this child to understand that it's okay, I'm here, but we have to do this and that and the other.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm happy to share a ton of links and a ton of resources that I have, so I can absolutely pass those over.
Beautiful, and I will share them to parents as well. If you are an essential worker who is parenting, I pray that this video on these words from school psychologist Miss Taurasi helped you. And if you would like to leave a message or ask a question, she's willing to take your questions and we can pass them on to you the next time you hear from us. Thank you again, and stay inside, love your kids, and speak to them in a language that they can understand. Take care. Bye-bye.